I love this song. Hey guys, coming in. Ooh. Hey. I think Nanny Miss Monique is coming in. So welcome to the lives. This is the last of the National Nanny Recognition Week, or International Nanny Recognition Week. I have given you 9 amazing nannies. Well, tell a lie, we had 4 on the other ones. That's what, 13 amazing nannies this week, guys. Showing you all their expertise, everything that they do, the different aspects of our job. So go back and watch them. Share them, let everyone know. And yeah, thank you so much for rocking with me. Some people have made every single live, so for you guys, absolutely love you. Thank you so much. Let's get Nanny Miss Monique. Hey Anne, coming in. This is the last of the lives. I feel emotional. Welcome. Happy National Nanny Recognition Week.
Same to you. I'm so excited to be here.
You look lovely, all glammed up. You are going to be ending my National Nanny Recognition Week.
I know. It's been such a busy week, hasn't it?
It has. For me, for everyone. Yeah. So I think everyone's making sure that they were making this live because it's the last one. I am on godmother duties, so bear with me if I keep looking over there. My godson is sleeping, and he's just amazing. He sleeps through anything. I've hoovered, I've cleaned the house, I play music, and he didn't budge. As soon as I press live, he starts moving, and I'm like, seriously? Let's see. Hold on. If he gets up, give me a second. I'm gonna go get him. I think he's.
Okay.
Give me 2 seconds.
Okay.
Come. We'll be with you shortly. This is the life of a nanny. You know, man. Oh, so he's gonna join us for the live.
Hi.
So hey, Mom, how's your day been?
It's been good.
Good. What you been up to?
I dropped my daughter off at her grandmother's house, and yeah, just kind of enjoying the day so far by myself.
Okay. Having some time off mommy duties.
Time off
So, Mom, thank you for joining me. Could you let the people know? Well, a lot of people know who you are. There might be some that have been living under a rock.
Yeah.
So if they have beef, let them know who you are, how long you've been a nanny, everything about you. Let us know.
Okay. So I'm Nanny Miss Monique. I've been a nanny for over 21 years. Right now, I am working part-time as a part-time nanny. I'm also, I have my Instagram page where I post tons of books about diversity, inclusion. I have mementos from my previous charges, all the activities I've ever done. I'm also doing promotional videos for people who need a promo video for your business and voiceover work. So that's what's going right now. And I also am curating children's libraries in their homes. And I can get more into that a little bit later with some more questions.
Give it in. I love it. The beginning of the pandemic, she's like, Shada, I don't know what to do. I've lost my job. And I don't know what to do. And I'm like, do you know how many talents you have? Hello? And now you're literally stepping into your greatness. And I absolutely love it. So well done.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well done. So you mentioned that you're doing part-time nannying now. See, I didn't know that. So tell us a bit more about that.
Well, my sister has a friend, the nanny quit on them. She just didn't show up one day. Isn't that sad? It's so sad.
Wow.
Yeah. So I've met her before, and I felt really bad for them, because if they can't do what they need to do, then they can't support their family. So I said, I will come in and help 3 days a week, part-time, like half days. So I'm able to pick up my daughter from school still.
Yeah.
So,
Amazing.
yeah. And I said I would help them until they found a more permanent full-time nanny.
That is so sweet of you. So nice for you to save the day.
Easiest little baby. He's just a little chunk muffin. He's 11 months old. He's so cute.
Oh, I love babies. I was saying to my best friend, who is his mother, I said, I'm having withdrawal symptoms from children. And so she said, do you want to be on godmother duties? I was like, hell yeah, I need some babies. So now he's like kind of giving me that craving that I had. That craving that I had. But he's amazing. He's the most beautifulest baby, and he's really happy. So you're with an 11-month-old now. How long have you been with him?
It's only been 2 weeks.
Are you enjoying it?
I am. I'm loving every minute of it, actually. I'm surprised that I just, you know how nannying, you can just like get right back on, on it again, and you just go back, really easy. Yeah. So.
Yeah. So tell us a bit more about, like, because you're a mother. I'm not sure why you're getting feedback, so I really apologize.
Okay.
But tell us about, because you're a mother, you're a wife, you're a nanny. How did you get into nannying? Like, you've been a nanny for 21 years, yeah?
Yeah. So.
Wow.
For college break in the summertime, I worked for a family part-time, Monday through Friday, and it was just a half a day. And that's how I started. So that was my summer job when I came home from college. When college was over, I went to Washington, D.C., and I had an interview to work at the Smithsonian to be a tour guide, because I majored in art history. I don't know if anyone knows that. So
yeah, it's so cool.
Yeah, so then I met a nanny in Washington, D.C., and she's like, "You're so nice. You seem like you're great with children. Do you want to be a live-in nanny instead?" And I interviewed for the nanny position, and I ended up becoming a live-in nanny.
That was your first job as a live-in nanny.
That was my first job.
Great.
And I said I wasn't going to do the museum thing, and I said, all right, I'm going to do this. And I think children are my calling, really. Like, I really wish that I would have went back to school and did the education route. But yeah, I love children so much, and I love that job. And that is kind of how I started with the whole book thing. I worked for two authors, two New York Times bestselling authors, who were also
that makes sense now.
Yeah, they actually had a library in their home, and every morning the kids would wake up and run downstairs, not to eat breakfast, to sit in the library so their parents could read to them. And I'd never seen anything like this before. They were so excited about books. And I would just sit, and I said, well, do you guys want me to do anything? I was like, not doing anything. I didn't have anything to do. They had a cleaning lady. They had people working in the house. They had a staff. And they said, no,
I'm sure they had a library in their house.
They just said, go ahead and sit down and relax, and you can watch us read to the children. And I said, okay. And the kids were just so engaged. And I loved how the parents and the children interacted through reading. And that is that's how I began my love for children's books, is watching the family. Yeah.
That is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful story. Because I'm thinking, I would probably do that if I had a library in my house and I was a kid. That's like so cool. So were they both authors?
They were both authors, yes.
So So writing was obviously very prominent in their life, and literature and language must have been very big. Oh, wow. And was that your first position?
That was my first real position. So I was a nanny in college during the summers, but this was a completely different ball game. You know, I mean, I was not in my comfort zone. I was away from my family. I was in a different state. So yeah.
So how did you find that, working in a different state, and being away from your family at such a young age as well?
You know, at first I was very lonely, because I didn't have a lot of friends. But then I made some really wonderful nanny friends. And it just made everything so much better. It was like a community of people. Yeah, I loved it so much. And I really loved the kids. We did so much together, and I'm still in their lives today.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So wait, hold on. So how old are those children now?
Oh, I think the oldest maybe 24. And yeah, I know, maybe 24 and 22, I believe. Yeah.
Wow, that is so cool. I literally can't wait till I'm like, yeah, 21 years in the game. Yeah, yeah, you know, my nanny kids are in their 30s, yeah, you know. Oh, that is so cool. So let's talk about your journey from being a nanny to then being a wife and a mother. What was that like, transitioning, and how do you feel like, did it have any impact on your nanny career?
Oh, definitely, definitely.
Let's
So
talk about it.
yeah, I was working for, so I'm known as the literature nanny. So I guarantee families, like, if I have your child from a very young age, I can teach your child how to read in about a year or two. I
Mm,
always tell the families I can do that. So this family had a little bit of an older child. They had a 5-year old, a 6-year old, and a baby, like a 6-month old. And they
mm.
said, we haven't been really good with the reading thing. Oh, I'm sorry. Is
He's
everything
right,
okay?
I'm listening.
Oh, okay.
No, he's fine. Listen, he hasn't moved. This is what I'm saying to you. He's so good. He's listening to what you're saying, though. I can see him.
So cute.
No, talk. Don't worry about it. Like, I'm loud and he's used to it, so don't worry.
Okay, so
You
they
had a
said,
5 and 6 year old.
teach our children how to read over the summer. And I said, sure, no problem. I taught the 5 and the 6-year old how to read in like 3 months. And then I started
Yeah.
on the baby, and we were working on a program together. And then I wasn't married to my husband. We were engaged, and I was
Oh,
pregnant. And I was so scared to tell my boss that I was pregnant. I'm like, I'm going to get sacked for sure.
oh no.
Really believe that. And then she said, Monique, I have to talk to you too. And I said, okay. So we had this meeting with the family, and I said, I'm pregnant. And she said, guess what? I'm pregnant too.
That's so cool.
And then she said, no worries. I had a wonderful maternity leave. I had, like, this family took care of me. I had great insurance. It was amazing. And then when I came back, they said I could bring the baby to work with me, and the babies could be raised together.
Yes, so this is who your daughter and her, your nanny kid are quite close now, ain't they?
Yes, yes. So they kind
Wow.
of grew up together. I also, you know, I wanted my daughter to have the structure of being around children her age. So I did put her in daycare part-time. And, you know, when she wasn't in daycare, she was with me or she was with my husband. So that's how that happened. And ever since then, it was great. I left that family about a year and a half ago. And it was totally fine. The mom quit her job, and she decided she wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. So I chose to her, and I'm really happy for her. So then I started doing a nanny share, and that was my first time ever doing a nanny share.
You're brave.
It was very hard, but it was an experience, and I'm glad I did it.
Yeah. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
brave. I don't think I could do a nanny share. That's two sets of parents.
That's
Whoa.
right. That's right.
Yeah, I don't think I'm built for that.
Yeah, but I was very organized. I think the key to the nanny share is organization.
Yeah.
I had lesson plans. I do like every 2 weeks, I write a review on what the babies have been working on, what they need to work on, what we need in the house. Um, I was very organized. We would take turns at each other's homes.
Yeah, that's what I
And
was gonna ask. How
yeah,
does that work in terms of like location?
so they weren't too far away from each other, maybe 5 minutes away. So
Yeah.
1 week was at one family's house, and the next week was at the other family's house. So I would just go back and forth. And
Yeah.
yeah.
That is so cool. So in terms of when you're doing a nanny share and you have to do laundry, how does that work?
Oh, so if I'm at that family's home, whoever's home I'm at, I do the laundry on certain days. So I would do the
Okay.
laundry like every Tuesday and Thursday
Mm.
at whoever's home.
Yeah, okay. And then when you go to the other house, then you do that laundry and the other family do their own laundry for that week.
That's correct, right. And if the baby
Uh-huh.
had, if the other baby had some dirty clothes at the house and she wanted to leave them there, I would just wash those clothes and I would put them away.
Okay.
Yeah.
Makes perfect sense. Sounds good, doesn't it? Doesn't it? So yeah, so okay, so in when you found out you was pregnant, you let your boss know, and then your boss was pregnant, which I
Yeah.
think is so cool. So I wanted to go to the comments just to see what some people have said. If you guys have any questions for Monique, please could you just put them down in the question box where you see the question mark, and then we will ask Mon. Is that okay, Mon, if you can answer some questions?
Sure. I'm looking to see if there's any questions.
All right. So National Nanny asks, she said, "Hey Monique, how are you celebrating? So how are you celebrating National Nanny Recognition Week?"
How am I celebrating? Just by going online and just, watching your videos. I've been participating in the U.S. Nanny Association. The
Yeah,
conferences, I've been doing that every day. That's,
yeah.
actually, to be quite honest with everyone, this is the first time I've celebrated National Nanny Recognition Week. I've never done it before. I
Me
knew
too.
about it. And
Yeah.
I never wanted to say anything to my nanny families because my birthday's in September. And I didn't want to say, hey, you just gave me a birthday present. Give me my nanny gift too,
Yeah, yeah. But I told you off for that. I said you need to mention it again.
Yeah.
Because even if it's just a card saying thank you, for all that you do for our family, that's better than nothing. Here in the UK, it's not that big, but I think this year was the biggest. Like most people celebrated it this year, but I think next year now, because more people know about it, next year it's going to be more prominent.
I
Um,
think so too.
let's see. Hey, Nanny Kim on the go. Hey, Jessie. Hey, fantastic professional nanny. Potty Kings and Queens says, hi, guys. I would love to say well done to all the nannies that did the live this week. You're all doing a great job, so keep it up. You have all given off gems to last for a long time. Oh, thank you. That's my mom.
Oh,
The modern nanny said, so generous and with boundaries to match. Love that you're able to show up as you. Oh, that's so sweet. There's more. Yay, children's literature. The National Nanny said, "Love it. Yes, that's amazing. Glad you are celebrating this year. Yes, so am I. After 21 years, I think you're more than worthy of celebrating National Nanny Recognition Week because you have contributed so much to the industry. 21 years. That's a long time, and I know you're very passionate about what you do, and you're not a nanny that just is a nanny for the sake of being a nanny. You're actually a professional nanny and a career nanny. So that makes a big difference. So talk to us about how you kind of juggle everything now with being a wife and a mother and a nanny. Now you're working part time, but how are you finding it pre-COVID and during COVID? Have you found that there's been any kind of things you had to pivot or change or adapt to?
Definitely. So during the nanny share, I was always welcomed to bring my daughter to work with me, but because of the age difference of the children, I didn't think it was fair to my daughter to be around babies all day. So I wanted my daughter to be in daycare. So I sent my daughter to daycare 3 times a week. And on the other 2 days, my husband, he's off during the middle of the week because he works in real estate. So he has a little bit more flexibility. So he was able to sure, yeah. And I have a great family support in Chicago here. I have my mother-in-law, I have my mother, I have my dad, my sister, my brother. Yeah.
So so you were born and bred in Chicago?
That's correct. Yes.
And you went to Washington, D.C. when you was younger, but have you always just found yourself going back to Chicago?
Yes. So the family that I work for in Washington, D.C., the mother she had cancer, and that's why they needed a nanny. So she needed a nanny kind of as a buffer to hide that she was sick. And that was a very tough job for me at the time.
Wow.
It was hard.
Big responsibility.
It was a really big responsibility, and I was so young at the time. I don't know how I ended up handling that, but I did it. And I love them so much. I mean, I love them to this day. And the mother did pass away. And she did write me a little something in one of her books, her best-selling books. She wrote a little passage.
Oh, that is so sweet.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a recognition. That right there is recognition. Sorry to hear that she passed, but that's lovely that she recognized you, because you probably didn't even notice that at that time. You probably eased a big burden that she probably thought, she probably, she must have been going through some form of guilt as well. Because I know, with her having cancer, she might have felt like she couldn't be the mom she wanted to be, but you've helped, fill that void.
Oh, of course. Like, if she wanted like fresh cookies for the kids when they got home from school, I would make them and then give them to her and say, this is you. You tell them that you made these cookies, and I'll be in the sidelines there. And I would.
Yeah, that is so lovely of you, and it's so selfless of you as well. And I 100% believe that, because you're just so giving naturally, And I knew that from the moment that we met, that you reached out to me. You've always been really kind, very loving, very supportive. And then I see how you are with your daughter, and it's just naturally how you are as a person.
Yeah.
What's wrong, Baba? What's wrong? So, get agitated. It's like, no, I'm just watching you. You were alive.
I love that age. Isn't it the best age?
It's the best. It's the best. Especially when they're cuddly like this as well. You just like.
I just want to squeeze it.
Yeah, and he's got the chunkiest legs. The chunkiest. Lester said, you are amazing. But my mum has mastered how to do purple love hearts, and now she's just continuously doing purple love hearts. Because she messaged me, she says, Charlotte, I don't know how to do the purple love hearts. And now
Oh.
Now she's just constantly doing purple love. Bob, you can stop. Just wait to the end, okay? All right. But yeah. So tell us about, because I can't imagine you ever being in like, or getting like, do you get angry or upset? Because you're just so calm.
I do get upset. My husband was just talking about like how I wanted to post this so bad on Instagram. So my husband asked me, he's going to kill me that I'm talking about this. He asked me, honey, which pajamas should Cruz wear? And I'm like, there's a drawer. There's pajamas in them. Pick a pair of pajamas, okay? Like, why do I have to help you pick out pajamas? Like,
yeah. But see, that's something so small.
What?
So did that irritate you?
Yes. Like, I shouldn't have to handhold my husband on what pajamas my child should wear.
Yeah, true. That's very true. But that's good, because now that makes me know that common sense is what irritates you, because you're always so smiley and you always have a book and you always, and I'm like, I love that about her. I wish I had that calm aura. I'm just loud and just me, and then I'm just like, I just admire your calmness. Even like I watch, so let them know about your story time. When is it?
So I do story time every Wednesday at 10 a.m. Central Time on Instagram Live. So
okay, and that is what time is it there now for you?
It's 1:27 Central Time.
Okay, so wait, so you're 6 hours behind us, yeah?
That's correct, yeah.
Right, so let me 4. So that's about 4 p.m. here, UK time, guys. So check it out, because I don't have no picnic, and I was watching her story times, and I was getting involved. I was like, I'm in the screen. I was so engaged. And even for me, I didn't have any children, but I really enjoyed it. And the way you interact and the stories that you choose as well. Like the one that you read recently was about a little girl that didn't like her hair. And then she was black and her best friend was white, and they swapped hair. Yeah. And then they didn't like it. And then the best thing is to be themselves. I love the message behind it. I was like, I need to get my nieces to watch this.
Yeah,
so I really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed it. Ooh,
and I always try to choose stories that showcase diversity and inclusion, because that is so important to me. Let me tell you, when I was growing up, there weren't any books that I could look at and say, this person looks like me. I couldn't relate, Books, have you guys heard of Windows and Mirrors? Books should be mirrors for people of color, and they should be windows for other people who want to understand that culture. Because honestly, at the end of the day, we're all the same. It's just we have different pigment in our skin. We all have the same kinds of experiences. Whether they're good or bad, we have the same kinds of experiences. And you can learn that in a book. I feel like you can learn anything through literature. And that is kind of how I nanny as well. I go into the home and I play with the child, and it's kind of a Montessori way, like, what are you interested in? All right, let's go to the library. And I take a giant wagon. I pull the kid in the wagon. Then on the way home, we have a big wagon full of books.
Yeah, full of books.
Yes, and I'm like, come on, help me pull this giant wagon home. And I introduced the kids to the librarian. I introduced myself as well. I know all the librarians. Like, I know so many librarians.
I can imagine. You were the librarian in the past life.
I really enjoy it. And I think that the kids need to understand how to find a book. The kids need to be brave enough to go up to the librarian and say, hey, I'm looking for this type of book. And I always teach the kids, like, you should look for books that have diversity and inclusion in them. Like, if you see all one type of person in the book, you need to find a different book.
Yeah. Good. I think that's an amazing advice, especially for children, because children are so impressionable, and if they don't see themselves, like for me as well, like growing up, I never really saw myself a lot on TV.
No.
So I just used to be like, not that I've always been someone that's very goal-driven, very ambitious, but you always sometimes have that imposter syndrome, because you're thinking, well, I've never seen a black person do that, so can I do that? Do you know what I mean? So through books, if they're seeing diversity and inclusion from a young age, they won't go out with that same mentality. Do you know what I mean?
They won't. I mean, the way we see ourselves, I mean, Black people, I don't know, maybe Asian people as well, because I always try to find Asian children's books as well. It's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard.
It is.
It's so hard. And I think we really need to see ourselves, or we can have some self-hate.
Yeah.
Like there's some self-hate there. And it's just important to see yourself in a book, to love
Yeah.
yourself. So I have so many books for my daughter with brown people in them and people of all cultures. She's always saying, that's Cruz. That's Cruz.
Oh, oh, I love that. I love that. See, this is like literally inspiring the next generation. I love that she can see herself now. There's been a big change over the last few years, and I'm so happy that you've shared that. How old is your daughter? I know, but the people don't know.
My daughter is 3.5.
3.5 going on 20.
Yes, exactly.
I love her. She's so sweet. Every time I'm talking to you on video, she's like, hi.
She says hi to everyone. I'm like, oh my God.
It's good though. It's good. And so seeing that you have a you know, your interest is in literature and you specialize in books about diversity inclusion, have you ever thought about writing your own book?
I have written my own book. Yes.
Let us know.
So I'm a co-writer. So somebody wrote it with me, and the person I wrote it with does not want to self-publish the book. That person wants a publishing company to pick us up. So, you know, and I understand, but because of that, that's why the book isn't out there. But I'm letting you guys know it'll happen. It'll happen.
Right. What we're going to do is write your own book just for you that you wrote, not with someone else, and let your book pick up, because I feel like you're sitting on talent. Because you have, you know, really honed into this niche of yours, I would buy anything you're selling. When it comes to books, I would. You could put poop on a book and say, yes, this book's got diversity and inclusion. And I'll be like, take my money, take my money. So that has really annoyed me. What? We're going to talk after, because I'm like, what? Ain't that your work as well?
I hired an illustrator and everything. It's a beautiful book, too. Yeah. So I'll show you the book.
Yes, please. Please show me, because we need to see that. That needs to be on shelves, you know, and I can guarantee, and all the other nannies watching can vouch for me. We will all support you with that, and repost, buy it, you know, buy it as a gift, as a Christmas gift for children, birthday gift for children, you know. That is amazing. Are you allowed to tell us a little bit about what it's about, or you're not allowed to?
Of course, yeah. So I had a friend growing up that never could smell anything. He lost his sense of smell. He was born that way. So my friend and I, who wrote the book, we wrote about an elephant who couldn't smell. So we were always smelling things for him and trying to explain how things smell. So
that is so cool.
Mm-hmm.
So wait, so is that an actual condition?
Yes, it's an actual condition. Yes.
You know me, I'm a researcher at heart, so like my eyes started to twitch. I was like my brain is like, okay, write down, noted. I need to research that. As soon as I finish this, we're gonna go research that, yeah? He's like, no, we're not, auntie, no, we're not.
The elephant who couldn't smell, that's the name of the book, is friends with a skunk.
Who stinks?
Yes!
Ah, yes! Genius! I love it! Should we get her a book? Should we get her a book? He's like, yeah, whatever. Oh, I'm waiting for that to drop now. That sounds really cool. I love it.
Thank you.
Really cool idea. Very cool idea. But we need to get we need to talk to your friend, you know? We need to talk to your friend, because we need that book on the shelf, you know? And sometimes you can self-publish.
I know. That's what I want to do. I would self-publish.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm going to have to write my own book by myself.
Yes, please do that. Now that you're part-time and we have a bit more free time, let's get that, because you just have to let us know and we will push that for you as much as possible. Okay.
Oh, thank you.
He's been so good, hasn't he?
So good.
Just Yeah, no, this is literally like since he was born, he's always been this way. You'll see, National Nanny saying, do it. Guys, if you do have any questions about Monique, about any books, about her history, her background, let us know. So
Yeah.
when I remember when I first met you and I said, what's your nationality? And you said, I'm from Chicago, I was born here. I was like, yeah, but you look like Trinidad or like, some like Caribbean. And you're like, no, I'm just from America. I was like, you sure? Like your background? You're like, yeah, no, just Chicago. So like,
Chicago
tell us
girl.
a bit about your background in terms of like your upbringing and just how you got to the point where you're at now. Did you always want to be married with a child? Like,
I've always wanted a child. I always wanted to be married
oh,
and have a child. I was so happy when I found out I was pregnant. I actually
yeah.
struggled with fertility for years, and
Oh
when I found
wow.
out that I was pregnant, I was so happy. My family was so happy for me.
Oh, that is so sweet. So you
Yeah.
went through some fertility problems.
Yeah, I had fertility problems for about 7 years. So, and I did the
Wow,
whole
man.
IVF, I did all that. And yeah, and I had cruised
Wow.
naturally. As soon as I said, I'm not going to do IVF anymore, I got pregnant.
Yeah, always the case. Always the case. I've heard it for so many people. I'm talking to a nanny at the moment that is going through something similar, and I feel like you could really help with that.
Oh,
So
sure.
do you mind if I connect to you guys?
Yes, please do.
Cool. I'm gonna have a chat with her because I feel like it's very important that we support each other through personal and professional.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you for sharing that because if you didn't mention that, I would never have known.
Yeah.
What advice would you give to nannies that are, trying to conceive and having some issues at the moment?
I'm sorry, what did you say?
What advice would you give to nannies that have been in your situation where they were trying to conceive but they were finding it difficult?
Yeah, I would just say stress. Stress levels will just make everything in the body just kind of not work. I mean, that's just how it is, right? Like,
Mm-mm,
and I just think you just need to relax. I was always on
mm,
edge about it. It was just such a thing. Like I need to get pregnant, and I need to,
mm,
you know, it was hard, and I was stressing myself out. And the moment
mm,
that I just said forget about it,
mm.
that's when it happened. And I
Yeah,
know everyone says that. I know people used to say to me, and I
yeah,
used to get really pissed off and be like,
yeah,
you don't know.
yeah. I can imagine it must be frustrating, when you want something so bad
Yes,
and it's one of those things where you don't know if you're fertile enough until you actually try.
right. It is one of
So,
those things.
yeah, that must have been frustrating. But so throughout your pregnancy, was you quite anxious or was you more like just really excited?
I was so excited. I was so
Oh,
excited. And I was just like, the doctors were like, well, you're over 35. You know, you're a high risk because once you're over
yeah,
35, you're considered high risk. And I said,
yeah,
I will do whatever you tell me to do to keep this baby. Like,
yeah.
I'm going to do whatever you tell me to do. And I was so happy.
Oh, yeah, that's so sweet. But that explains why your daughter's just so happy. She's such a happy child. Like, whenever I speak to you and I see her, she's just always like a ray of sunshine. Like you. She's like a little mini version of you. Literally.
You.
Okay. So, Mon, have you ever been through any kind of conflict with your nanny families or any kind of like being treated badly or, being taken advantage of? Like, how did you deal with that? Because you seem really, really
Yeah.
sweet where you'd be too scared to say something. I don't know. Am I getting that wrong? Or like,
No.
how do you deal with
Well, I don't
setting
know.
boundaries?
So I was very lucky in the beginning of my career to have really great nanny families because they could have mistreated me and I would have just
Yeah.
been, you know. But then they set the standard how
Okay, 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 okay. Okay, okay, okay. Sorry, sorry. You
okay,
didn't want to leave me. It's okay, it's okay. Sorry, he didn't want to leave me. I thought he wanted to get down. Oh, sorry. I thought he was trying to get down. I'm sorry, Pudding. I'm so sorry. I misread that signal. I thought he was trying to get down, so I put him down and he was like, no, I want to be with you. That's fine. You're here with me now. You're safe, okay? Sorry about that. Go ahead, Mon.
So yeah, I'm lucky that I had a great family structure with my nanny families in the beginning, because that set the standard how things should be.
Yeah.
So then when I had a family that mistreated me, I didn't take it. I didn't take it.
All right. Because you've been treated well, so you knew.
I knew.
All right.
And so I went through an agency. I went through a great agency, North Shore Nannies. I think if you're watching this later, yeah, thank you very much for everything you've ever done. So I had a mother who, I was with them from the beginning. The kids were older. They were maybe 6 or 7 years old. And they bought a brand new puppy. And they told me I wasn't in charge of the puppy. I was not. And the puppy saw the mother come in. She came home early from work. The puppy saw the mother and it had dirty paws. It jumped over the fence to go upstairs into her bedroom and jumped on her bed while she was trying to take off her suit and work clothes. So that means that the puppy had little paw prints all over her beautiful white, pristine bedroom and paw prints all over the carpet. And the puppy just made the house dirty. And I was watching the kids. The dog's not my responsibility. She jumped over the fence. I didn't know. But she came downstairs, and let me tell you, she cussed me out.
What?
Yes.
What did she say?
I don't know if I can say the things that she said, but she said, she called me a bitch. She said that, who do I think I am letting the dog jump over the fence like that? How dare you let this happen to my room? And I said, I thought I wasn't responsible for your dog. And she got really upset. And I said, and I was trying to hold my tears in. I didn't want to cry in front of her. So I said, you know what? I think you need to calm down, and I'm going to go home, and I will see you tomorrow. Immediately after I left, I called the agency and I said, this is unacceptable. This is what she said to me. They said, no worries. Do you want to stay with this family? I said, absolutely not. She has no respect for me. I'm not going to put up with this. They called and they said, Monique is putting in her 2 weeks notice. They did it for me. I came back.
Yes, amazing. Yeah. Let her know. Who you calling?
Yeah. And then the next day I came back to work. She apologized and said, I'm so sorry. I had a bad day at work. And I said, I'm very sorry you had a bad day at work, but that is unacceptable, and I will no longer be working for you. But I'll always be in your children's lives because I don't believe in divorcing children.
Yes, I love that. Divorcing children, I don't believe in that either. But some parents are, some parents get in their feelings. But well done for sticking up for yourself. Yes. I wish I had been. Oh, did you work your 2 weeks notice?
Yeah.
See how professional you are. That makes me feel better. I'll be honest. That makes me feel very better because I had a similar situation where I was a live-in nanny. And when I started the position, it was meant to be a nanny role. When I started it, it was like more housekeeper nanny. And I was like, I'm not a housekeeper. I don't want to be doing sitting in the laundry room for ages and, not spending much time with the children. And I had spoken to the mom prior to that, just saying, like, this is not the job that I signed up for. Like, I want to, I'm a nanny. I want to be around the children more. I want to be more involved with the children. And then I just said to her, I'm going to give it a week and see how things go. And then maybe at the end of the week, I'll let you know what decision I'll come up with. Because obviously I didn't want to just quit on the spot. They paid a lot of money to hire me, and I only had been there 6 weeks. But over the week, it was just so bad, like loads of micromanaging, passive aggressive, just really disrespectful. And I was quite not young then, but obviously I was younger. But I was just more like, let me just try not, because normally I'm very like cutthroat. If you disrespect, boom, I'm out. No, I don't take it. I'm not. But this time I was like, let me try and be a bit more less cutthroat. And I kind of regret that now. Or not regret it, but I kind of feel like me being less cutthroat made her think she could do it more.
Yeah.
So when I did sit down and I said, I'm gonna put in my notice, she like said, get the F out of my house. And that was at
What?
like 11 o'clock at night. And I literally
What?
had to pack all my stuff in the black bag and leave her house. And when I said hi, Kari, I said hi, Kari. So I had to leave her house, and her husband was like begging me not to leave. And I was like, yeah, no, your wife is very disrespectful. Like, I'm not gonna stay. But I worked my week notice. But it was torture because they lived on the other side of London. But because I wanted to remain professional, I moved out. I moved back to my flat, and I just did live out for my notice period. But it was
Yes.
hell because I was getting up at like 4:30 a.m. to get to their house for 7. And obviously prior to this, I was a living nanny, so I could just get up at 6:30 and still get
Ah,
to work at 7 because it's just going downstairs. But I did that for a week and I remember crying every single day. I was so down, so down. And I loved that family because they had twins that were 3 months and a boy that was 5 and a boy that was 7. And it was perfect ages for me. I've always wanted school age and infants or infants and a toddler. So, and I really saw myself being with them for many, many years. So that was really disheartening. But the fact that you spoke up,
yes.
that was amazing. Because I wish I had done that when it happened, but I didn't. I let it build up, and then it kind of exploded in a way. But yeah, I'm really proud of you because I would have thought you was more like really timid and
No,
like
no. I mean, if I
this
had,
mom got me firing you. Hey. She's like,
I
hi, there's this
had,
dog, but don't fuck with me, guys. Don't. I love it.
I've even had a family. I worked, this was the best family I ever worked for. I love them. But I did put in my notice for them because the job started to change. The kids were going to be in full-time school and activities.
Yeah,
And I didn't want it. I felt bad just taking their money and I was just sitting in their house all day,
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You don't want to be doing nothing. It gets boring.
I get
We got
bored.
some comments for you.
Oh, sure.
Oh, people are shocked. Hi, Alex Steele. What is your best advice for parents?
For parents.
Yeah.
My best advice for parents would probably be get some education on how to have an employee in your home so you're treating them correctly and you know what to expect. Like make sure you know what you want as a parent from your nanny. Because if you don't
Mm,
know what you want, then you are passive aggressive, throughout the whole nanny's process of doing what she's doing. Like,
mm,
I will do what you want me to do. You need to let me know what kind of nanny you want me to be, and I can do that
yeah,
for you.
yeah,
Of course, I put my own Miss Monique touch on it, but
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
That's really good advice. I can second that. Someone said, let's play, let's say, oh my God, what? I think that's when you said the B word.
Yeah.
Way to go. That's right. Um, I'm so sorry. That is so hard. Living is rough. Oh man. Living can be, what's the word? It can be, because you've done living as well. There's a spider on my ceiling, Lord Jesus Christ. Um, so you've done living and you've done live out and you've done part-time and you've done nanny share.
Yes.
So in terms of living, do you think there's pros and cons?
Um, I know I've heard terrible stories about live-ins, but the home that I was in, I had my own separate wing of the home. So
Mm,
when I was off, I was really off. A
yeah,
lot of people say that the kids like knock on their door and they
yeah.
don't respect the nanny's time off. So I actually really loved live-in because
Mm,
you're not paying for anything and you get to save so
yeah.
much money.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
There's pros and cons. I agree. I agree. I think for me, I like the fact that I didn't have to travel to work. I
yeah,
could
that's
just go
nice, isn't
downstairs.
it?
Yeah, I love that. I love because I'm like, oh, I gotta get up early in the morning, and then I have to go on the train or the bus or her. It's just long. But the fact that I could get up 40 minutes before work, wash, get dressed, chill, read a book, talk to my mom, and then go into work. Just go downstairs 5 minutes before. Like it was amazing. But amazing advice, she said. Wing? Someone's like, what? Wing? You live in a wing? Yeah, but you know, I prefer when you do live in and they give you an apartment. Like
What?
when I lived with my mom, my nanny friend worked for a family and they gave her a 2-bed apartment with a car. I said, yeah, you're living your best life. She didn't have
I
to pay
had
for
a car
nothing.
too in DC. It was so fun.
Yeah, literally. So there is benefits to it. I just think when it gets difficult, it's very tricky because you're still living in with them. And normally, if you have issues,
Yeah.
um, you know, like in your situation when the woman called you a B word, if you was living, you would have to just walk to your room, but there's still tension in the house.
That's so
You know what I
true.
mean? So that's the part where it's really difficult, where if it goes wrong, it goes really wrong. Because it's
Yeah.
like, and then I remember I lost so much weight in that job because what would happen was I would not want to leave my room and then I wouldn't eat like for hours. I just wouldn't eat because I'm
Oh,
just like, oh, if I go downstairs, I'm going to see the mom in the kitchen. Oh, and it would just give me anxiety and then I just would not eat. So then what I used to do was I used to just make sandwiches and bring it upstairs to my room, which is bad. It was so bad in that sense, but I just didn't feel comfortable. And when I was cooking, it was like they're in the kitchen as well. I'm cooking and they're asking me other questions. Like, and obviously I'm black, I'm Jamaican, I cook with spice, I cook. And they're like, why are you cooking that way? Like, why did you put that in? And just let me cook, please. I
oh
just want
my
to
goodness.
go to my room. so, so that it was something like that. So I used to get anxiety, like, oh, so I used to wait until they went to bed, which was like 11 o'clock at night. Bear in mind, I used to get off at 7, and I would
Yeah.
just wait for like 5 hours or 4 hours, 4 or 5 hours, and then eat really late, and then go bed at 1, and then get up for 6. So it wasn't a good cycle. It was very toxic, but I learned a lot in that position. I definitely learned a lot about boundaries and
Yeah.
when something happens, you deal with it there and then. If you let it drag on, eventually it will just explode and it'll be 10 times worse. That's how I
Oh,
work with my mentees. I work with my nanny mentees on boundaries. It's so important.
it is. And I want to say something that I haven't been hearing in a lot of nanny conversations. Everyone is saying, make sure you say something up front, but make sure that you write and send an email. Always make sure you have what you say to your
A
nanny and your
paper
parent.
trail.
Make a paper trail because
Mm.
I've had so many situations where I've talked to them and then they're like, I don't remember saying that. Oh, really? Oh,
Mm.
really? Okay. So I always try to have an email. I just want to follow up, say, I just want to follow up on what we were talking about yesterday, yada, yada, yada. And then they sent, there you go. You have a paper trail.
Yeah, yeah. That is very good. That I say definitely, I can second that as well, because what tends to happen is you have that conversation. It's your words against theirs,
Yes.
and a lot of the time you find you're trying to convince the agency that you actually did nothing wrong, but they've spoken to the client first, who has said you've done this and you've done that and yada yada. They ain't said anything that you've done. But you see what I do? I'm very clever. If something's not going well in my job and I got the job through the agency, I tell them as it happens.
Same.
Every time it happens, I send an email to my agent, and I'm like, just letting you know this happened today, yada 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 yada. So if I get sacked, I'm just letting you know. Like I'm big on that, and I think because I've built up that kind of relationship with the agencies that I work with, if something does happen or when it has happened, they're like, well, you let us know back in September that she was doing this, so we knew that this ain't something that's just, you know. And a lot of the time, the parents contact the agencies is with really bad feedback. They never speak about the good stuff that you've done. But then, because I keep a relationship with my agent,
Yeah.
they already know what kind of nanny I am. So when the parents say something to them, they already know. They're like, yeah, that's not Shada. Shada wouldn't do that, you know? So you definitely could second the paper trail. And okay, so that's really good advice. So hold on, I need to make sure that Instagram doesn't kick us out. So what do you want to be recognized for, Nanny Miss Monique?
I want to be recognized for bringing the joy of literature to people's homes. And I want to facilitate a love for reading in children. That is so important to me. I want them to love books. So you start reading to that baby in the womb.
Yes, that is true. Read to your belly, read to your bump. I can agree with that too.
And I want to say something. If you have a child that's walking around the room and they're not listening to you, keep reading anyway. They need to hear the sound of your voice. They need to hear they need to hear the language. Just keep reading to them. We listen to audiobooks all the time and we multitask. It's okay for them to do the same.
That is a very good tip. Guys, you're just dropping hella gems, you know, so I hope you're catching them. If you found this useful, please give us some purple love hearts. Miss Monique, we love you so much. Thank you so much for allowing me to honor you for National Nanny Recognition Week and for closing National Recognition Week, because you are now the last nanny that I'm honoring. And I just feel like it was a really good ending with you, because your niche is different to all the other nannies that I spoke to. They all had different niches, but yours is also quite unique because it's to do with literature and reading and language and different books. And if anyone has any, suggestions for books that involve inclusion and diversity, it's Nanny Miss Monique. Go follow her on Instagram. Is there anything that you want to let us know that you're doing in the future, or anything you want to promote? This is your time.
So go to nannymissmonique.com to get a promo video made for you. I'll make the video, I'll use my voice, and I can do that for you. I can also help you curate your child's library. If you want a book with diversity and inclusion, I can help you. So,
Is that all over the world, internationally?
International. I can help you anywhere. And I know some really great authors in England as well. So
amazing. There you go, guys. I've literally gone like this. He's a nanny for every single aspect of your life. There you go. Okay. I thank you so much. Say thank you, Tori. He'd like whatever. Say hi. Say hi.
Hi, sweetie. How are you?
Hello. Say hi. He's like, who is that? So yeah, say bye. Say bye, Kari.
Bye.
Take care, Monique. I'll speak to you in 2 seconds. Thank you, guys. Take care. Happy National Nanny Recognition Week. Woo, 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 woo. See you later.